In a small, forgotten village nestled between the thickest woods and the tallest mountains, there stood a forest called the Whispering Pines. It was said that the trees there spoke to one another in soft murmurs, carrying secrets from the distant past. The villagers knew better than to wander into the forest after the sun dipped behind the mountains, for it was during the night that the trees' whispers grew louder and their voices darker. One evening, as the sky turned a deep shade of purple, a curious young boy named Elian sat at the edge of the forest. He had heard the stories of the Whispering Pines all his life, the stories of strange happenings and odd sounds, of lost wanderers who were never seen again. But Elian was different. He was brave and eager to unravel the mysteries that had puzzled the village for generations. As the wind began to stir, Elian stood up and, with one last glance at the village houses glowing warmly in the distance, took his first step into the forest. The moment his foot touched the soft earth beneath the trees, a chill ran down his spine, but he ignored it and pressed on. The pines loomed tall and silent, their dark silhouettes etched against the fading light. Elian walked deeper, the path narrowing as thick branches reached down to brush against his shoulders. Suddenly, the whispers began faint at first, like the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. But then they grew louder, a chorus of voices, some soft and comforting, others sharp and urgent. "Elian," a voice called softly, just above a whisper. Elian, turn back. He paused, the hairs on the back of his neck standing on end. But his curiosity pushed him forward, and he followed the voices deeper into the woods. The further he walked, the more the forest seemed to change. The trees twisted and turned in strange shapes, their trunks knotting together like intertwined hands. Strange lights flickered between the branches, like distant stars trapped in the forest's grasp. Elian's heart pounded in his chest, but he could not stop now. He had to know the truth. Ahead of him, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a woman, her hair long and silver, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Her eyes, dark and ancient, seemed to hold the weight of centuries. "Do you seek the truth, child?" she asked, her voice as soft as the wind, yet as clear as a bell. Elian nodded, unable to speak, his mouth dry with anticipation. "The truth is not something you can easily understand," the woman warned. "The forest holds memories of the past, of things better left forgotten. But you, Elian, have a heart that seeks answers. If you are willing, I will show you." Without waiting for him to respond, the woman stepped aside, revealing a hidden path lined with moss and glowing fungi. She beckoned him forward. Elian hesitated for only a moment before following. The path twisted and turned, leading him deeper into the heart of the forest. As they walked, the whispers grew louder still, each tree seeming to speak in a language that Elian could almost understand. They spoke of old secrets of the village, the forest, and the ancient pact made long ago between the land and the people. The woman led him to a clearing, where an enormous tree stood at the center, its bark twisted and gnarled. At the base of the tree was a large stone, inscribed with symbols Elian had never seen before. The woman stopped before the stone and turned to him. "This is the heart of the Whispering Pines," she explained. "It is here that the memories of the past are kept, locked away from time. But the forest has begun to change, Elian. The balance is shifting." Elian looked at the tree, his mind racing with questions. "What do you mean? Why is it changing?" The woman's eyes grew darker, and for a moment, Elian thought he saw something ancient and sorrowful in them. "The pact was broken many years ago," she said quietly. "The villagers stopped respecting the forest, taking from it without giving back. The trees can feel it. The balance is crumbling, and soon, the forest will awaken in a way you cannot imagine." Elian's heart raced. "What can I do?" The woman sighed. "Only the pure of heart can restore the balance, but the path is fraught with danger. You must find the Heartstone, hidden deep within the forest. Only then can you restore the peace between the land and its people." Without another word, the woman vanished into the shadows, leaving Elian alone before the ancient tree. He looked at the stone, then back at the twisting path before him, uncertainty creeping into his heart. But Elian was not one to back down from a challenge. He steeled himself for the journey ahead, knowing that the fate of the village and the forest lay in his hands. As he ventured further into the woods, the whispers grew louder, urging him forward. The trees, as if sensing his determination, seemed to part for him, guiding him on his way. Hours passed, or perhaps days. Time seemed to lose all meaning within the forest's depths. Finally, he arrived at a clearing bathed in moonlight, and at its center lay a stone pedestal. On top of the pedestal rested a glowing gemstone, the Heartstone. Its light pulsed with a rhythm that seemed to match the beating of Elian's own heart. But as he stepped forward to claim it, a low growl echoed through the clearing. From the shadows, a dark figure emerged, a creature of smoke and shadow, its eyes burning like fiery coals. "You should not have come, child," the creature growled. "The forest belongs to no one." Elian stood tall, gripping the Heartstone tightly. "I will restore the balance," he declared, his voice steady despite the fear that gripped him. "I will not let the forest fall into darkness." The creature snarled, its form shifting and writhing. But Elian, with the Heartstone in his hands, focused all his strength on the gemstone. It glowed brighter and brighter, until the light became blinding. The creature shrieked and vanished into the darkness, unable to withstand the power of the Heartstone. As the light faded, Elian found himself back in the clearing, the whispering pines surrounding him in silence. The forest, once dark and twisted, now seemed peaceful, its ancient power restored. Elian returned to the village, his heart heavy with the knowledge of what he had seen. The villagers, though they never fully understood the true nature of his journey, could sense the change in the air. The forest no longer whispered in fear, but in gratitude, and the balance between the land and its people was restored. From that night on, the whispering pines no longer held secrets of sorrow, but only the soft, calming whispers of a forest at peace. And though Elian never spoke of what he had encountered in the depths of the woods, he knew that the forest would always be there, watching over the village, its whispers now a gentle lullaby. And so, as the villagers drifted off to sleep, they could hear the soft murmur of the trees in the distance, a reminder of the balance that had been restored and the mysteries that still lingered in the shadows of the whispering pines.